Is Donald Trump scared of Ron DeSantis? How's that for a hook, right? It's intriguing, it's compelling, and maybe even a little bit provocative. Seriously though, is Donald Trump scared of Ron DeSantis? Welcome to Political Pop Culture, where the important and the not so important issues of the day are broken down, discussed, and occasionally even mocked and ridiculed. I am your host, JP, and this is my take. For the last couple years, Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis have had, from outward appearances, a cordial relationship. I wouldn't necessarily refer to them as friends, but more like outwardly friendly, mostly. I suppose a good pop culture reference would be to refer to them as frenemies. While there is certainly a level of mutual respect, perhaps even kinship between the two, there's also a deep undercurrent of rivalry and perhaps even mistrust. That part isn't so surprising, really. After all, Donald Trump is the old lion, proud and fierce, but not quite as nimble or strong as he used to be. And of course, he's also carrying the scars from a lifetime of battles. Some of those battles, he's not done fighting yet. Then you have Ron DeSantis. He's the up-and-comer. He's full of youthful vitality and charisma, with a bit of a rebellious streak. And he also has a strong desire to make his own way, as opposed to being made by someone who came before him. I swear this story sounds familiar for some reason. Anyway, over the last year or so, we have seen signs from Trump's camp that they may not be as thrilled with Ron DeSantis as many other conservatives are. Donald Trump sees himself as the head of the Republican Party, regardless of how other Republicans might feel about that. In Trump's mind, he sits above everybody else in the party. Not only that, he seems to feel like others in the party owe him a debt of gratitude. How Donald Trump sees Ron DeSantis, at least in this regard, isn't any different than how he sees anyone else who he considers to be below him in the party. We also know that Donald Trump feels like he's responsible for Ron DeSantis' success. After all, Ron DeSantis was a largely unknown congressman when Trump decided to endorse him for Florida governor back in December of 2017. Congressman Ron DeSantis is a brilliant young leader, Yale and Harvard law who would make a great governor of Florida. He loves our country, and he is a true fighter. That's what Trump tweeted in 2017. Hey, if you want to be responsible for somebody's success, go ahead and hit the like button and then click on subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way, you're going to be the first to know anytime we upload new content just like this. You'll also be helping the channel by telling the algorithm to show this video to other people who might be interested in seeing it. Every little bit really does help, so thank you. While Donald Trump certainly did give Ron DeSantis' career a boost, DeSantis, for his part, has proven to be a rock star as governor of Florida. Not only has he been responsible for getting much-needed education reforms passed through the legislature, but he has been a champion for the individual rights and freedoms of the people of his state. Additionally, he shares one trait with Donald Trump that drives people on the left absolutely insane, while simultaneously endearing him to people on the right. And that is, he does not back down from the media. When they fabricate stories or try to push misinformation, when they mischaracterize or misquote, when they say something stupid or moronic, Ron DeSantis will call them out, and he'll make them look foolish. But where Donald Trump tends to come off as mean-spirited or like a bully when he calls someone out, Ron DeSantis has a tendency to make things seem more humorous. As a result, his comments, while certainly incendiary to people on the far left, are not as divisive for the people closer to the center line. That's one of the reasons that Ron DeSantis is a legitimate threat to Donald Trump's position as leader of the Republican Party. Ron DeSantis not only doesn't have the baggage that comes along with Donald Trump, but he isn't nearly as divisive. Let me put it another way. We all know that TDS, or Trump derangement syndrome, is a real thing. We know that there are a lot of people, and not just people on the far left, but moderate Democrats, moderate independents, and even conservative independents and Republicans who will not vote for Donald Trump under any circumstance. They consider Trump to be tainted goods at best, or the devil himself at worst. For people like that, it doesn't matter how many facts you put in front of them. It doesn't matter if you can show them how they personally were better off when Donald Trump was president. It doesn't matter if you can show them how the world was better off when Donald Trump was president. It doesn't matter because they don't care. To those people, Donald Trump is persona non grata, and they will never, ever vote for him. A lot of those people, though, who would never vote for Donald Trump would absolutely vote for Ron DeSantis. Don't get me wrong, the media is doing their damnedest to try to villainize Ron DeSantis the way they did Donald Trump, but they're far less successful with DeSantis because he isn't as easy to provoke. And again, he doesn't come off as a bully the way Trump often does. As a result, Ron DeSantis has the potential to do something that Donald Trump never could, and that is bring people together. Well, at least bring moderates from both sides together. You're never going to get the far left and the far right together, but most of the people in this country are not far left or far right, regardless of what you see on Twitter. Most people in this country are somewhere in the middle, and Ron DeSantis, while conservative, is a Republican who can appeal to people who are center-left. That's something that Donald Trump is frankly just not capable of doing. And don't think for a moment that Donald Trump is not keenly aware of the threat that Ron DeSantis could pose in 2024. In October of 2021, Trump was asked about the possibility of facing Ron DeSantis in the 2024 primaries. Trump was largely dismissive of the idea, saying, quote, "If I faced him, I'd beat him like I would beat everyone else. I think most people would drop out. I think he would drop out." The intent is clear. The lines are being drawn in the sand, and Trump expects everyone to fall in line behind him. Ron DeSantis hasn't done that. Not only has DeSantis not sought Trump's endorsement for his bid for re-election as Florida's governor, but he has openly defied Trump by himself endorsing and campaigning for Colorado Republican Senate nominee Joe O'Dea, who is a political adversary of Donald Trump. In an interview with CNN, Joe O'Dea said that he would actively campaign against Donald Trump if the former president were to run in 2024. Naturally, Donald Trump responded by calling O'Dea a rhino and said, "MAGA doesn't vote for stupid people with a big mouth." DeSantis, on the other hand, voiced a robocall for O'Dea, and he asked Colorado voters to support the Republican candidate for Senate. Trump's response was to call DeSantis supporting O'Dea a, quote, "big mistake." In what appears to be a retaliatory strike, President Trump has announced that he will be holding a rally on November 6th, just 2 days before the midterm elections, with Florida Senator Marco Rubio. Ron DeSantis, as of this recording, is not scheduled to be in attendance, and people in DeSantis' camp have been complaining that they had no prior notice before the announcement that Trump was going to be holding this rally with Rubio. While DeSantis is in no danger of losing his election to poor little Charlie Crist, Trump's rally is being seen by many as a shot across DeSantis' bow. So, back to the original question. Is Donald Trump scared of Ron DeSantis? No, I don't think so. I don't think he is. Honestly, I don't think Donald Trump is really scared of anybody. But I do think that he is cautious of Ron DeSantis. And you know what? He should be. Donald Trump is no fool, and he knows how popular Ron DeSantis is, not only in Florida, but nationwide. Ron DeSantis has raised well over $100 million from small dollar donors across the country, including donations from many of Trump's donors. DeSantis' likability, relatability, and ability to secure donations from a wide swath of people make him a legitimate threat to Donald Trump should Trump decide to run for president again in 2024. Now, as an aside here, I've said it before, I'm going to reiterate it right now. I do not want Donald Trump to run for president in 2024. I would much rather see Trump supporting younger candidates who are going to be leading the Republican Party for years to come. The party would be stronger as a whole if Donald Trump stepped back and played kingmaker, and the party would be far stronger if Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis could get on the same page. Whether you like him or not, Donald Trump started a movement, but that doesn't mean that he has to stay at the forefront of that movement. Donald Trump will be 78 years old on Election Day 2024. It's time that he let someone else take up the mantle and lead the Republican Party into the future. Is that Ron DeSantis? Only time will tell. That's my take. What's your take? You can let me know your take in the comments below. You can also let me know your take by joining the cult at PolPopCult on all major social media outlets. Thank you for listening.